Welcome to our today's webinar on white labeling Livecast365 and its integration with WordPress. Back in the 90s, I used to create websites from scratch. And then WordPress appeared, making everything a lot easier. Still, I would not have imagined that the day would come when I can run my TV channels from my WordPress site. For me and for the other WordPress users, Livecast365 is a terrific development, and I can't wait for Brill to tell us more about it. Brill, the mic is yours.
Well, hey, this isn't going to take very long, but I'm going to try to go through it, and then we should have plenty of time for questions. Basically, what our system is built for. It's built for people that want to have or run their own channels, and if you like to, and some people do, sell channels to other people. But when you sell channels to other people, you really want it to be pretty autonomous, meaning you really don't want them to know that it came from Livecast or any track back to us. So what we've allowed this to do, and what I'm going to show you tonight is, the scenario is this. Let's say you're our customer. We have a customer. They put up their own channel, okay? And with that channel, they launched a website from our platform in the back. And that platform is where they're forward facing to their customer. Okay? And then I'll actually, when we go through this, I'll log into the site. I'll do a screen share, and then I'll actually show you my site, log into it, and show you the step-by-step what happens when our customer, you in this case, have built a channel and a site and people come into it. So the first one, the one I'm going to show you tonight, the first one that we've put together for the demos this is the scenario. The customer, he has a website, and he has a introduction service, if you will. And so what he does is he's launched a web portal so that people can log into the web portal and upload videos of themselves introducing themselves. And then on Roku, he has a channel that people can go there, pay a subscription because it's one of our SDK properties, pay a subscription, and then watch the videos. And the videos have various information like Skype or email address or whatever, contact information. So the way this goes, I'm going to go through it step by step. So the first step is, and probably one of the most important things, is you'll see that it has its own URL. Okay, so what this customer has done is they've gone out to GoDaddy or to anybody else and they've bought a domain name. Maybe you already own a domain name. Whatever this channel is called. In their case, their channel is actually called Filipino Video Introduction. So they own that channel, which they haven't launched yet on Roku, but they're getting ready to launch in the next, week or two. But I'll announce on the boards when they launch it. So people that have seen this demo, they can look at their website and see how it kind of relates. And I'll tell you the steps in between customer at their website to video actually showing up on their show. So what they've gone out and done is they went out and they bought their domain name, whatever it is, .com. And they've also gone on to Roku in this case, and they've secured the name Filipina Video Introductions. So they've got both names, and they went out and got themselves a hosting package. Okay. So what they've done with the back of our system is they said, I want your integrated web service, put it on my hosting package. So that's something we can talk about. We can put it on our own host, meaning it might save you, $10, $12 a month. But we advise people to go get your own hosting company. And then in the back of Livecast, you just put their credentials and hit build it on my site. And then our site will build the website on your site. So I know that's confusing to some, but your website will actually be on your site that you have and you own. That way, if you ever want to change services or anything like that, you still own that website. It's yours. It's on your host. So we allow that. So you don't have to worry about, what if I want to change services? How can I take my data with me? Well, you can with us anyway. We don't have an issue with that because, people just don't leave us because we really take care of our people. We do the best we can to talk to them, work with them, and we really try to build products that people can use. But if in an event you find yourself that you want to do that, it's easy to migrate away from us. But if you have your own domain name and you have your own host, you don't even have to migrate away from us because it's already sitting on your own domain and your own host. So there's a couple ways to go about it. And it is automated in the back, and I'll show you how that happens too. So you are actually to go to that website. Here it is. So they have a couple things going on the website, and I'll show it to you live. So we'll log into it after the presentation. So they let people join now. So they'll let a woman join now, and she'll create a username and password. When she does, she gets an email. She has to verify the email, and then she comes back. She logs in, and then she can put in all of her information and upload her video. Okay? So that's basically what this main screen is. There is another tab at the bottom where they switch the site from women site to men seeking women, and it sort of switches the whole site of what it does. And we'll go over that also in a minute. But this is a web portal that was done by Livecast. There's no reference to it. So I just want to make it clear. It's showing how the channel or our customer, let's say, it's just a customer of ours. So let's say you're a customer of ours and you want to put up auto auctions. You have autoauctions.com, auto auctions. You basically push a site to do whatever you want. But anyway, once they join now, they put in all their information. I explained that. It's pretty self-explanatory what needs to be done on the site, right? And then in the back, when they log in, they have a banner. So this banner is actually used, and I'll tear this part more when we're actually on the site. That actually, in your channel, whenever you have a video, you need cover art for your video. So what this would do is change this image to your cover art. So you can actually upload, they can upload an image of themselves or whatever they want, and they can upload their video, and this image would then be converted to the cover art for this video. And I'll walk through more of that when I actually get live into the site as well, of what exactly it does. So basically, a person logs in, this is all they see. So all their person gets to do is upload a video. They decided that they didn't want the people to upload more than one video. So one woman can have one profile video or intro video. If she wants to come back, she can always upload more or upload over. So they never want to have the same girl have more than one video on their channel. So they limit it to one video. So when the person logs in here, they actually can upload one video, one picture, and information about themselves. So it's very clear. All right, so then in the back, what happens is there's none right now. The system of event goes like this. Back here, let's say this person logs in, they put in their information, they put in their video, and they hit save. What will happen on the back, so you're our customer, right? And so you decided you've launched this channel. So let's say you have 10 channels, they're all different names, they're all different white labels, whatever. What you don't want to do is have to go into this one and the next one and the next one, keep logging into them. But you may want to approve the videos before they get to the website. So in the back of your Livecast login that you'll have, there'll be an uploads videos area, and it's going to show every single video that's been uploaded from every single one of your sites so you can approve them. The minute you hit approve here, like let's say that one's the Filipino video introductions. So you'll see a video there, you'll look at it and say, okay, it's approved. The minute you hit approve, it is now added to the channel and it'll be actually on your TV station. So inside the channel manager, you can decide whether you want to approve these videos or you don't want to approve these videos. Because if you have a website that you've built and you're not letting other people upload videos, but maybe you're uploading the videos, you don't want to upload the videos and then have to come back here and approve the own videos that you uploaded. So basically, it's an option in the back end under Channel Manager whether you want to approve the videos or not. If you say, yes, I want to approve the videos, they'll always be in this upload section so that you can approve them. And they will not get listed on any of your platforms, Roku, Fire, whatever, until it's approved. And then it'll go and update them. So on the TV, like their channel looks something like this. Basically, when you go to Roku, they gave me a screenshot. They said it's going to be slightly different, but this is basically when you go there, what it's going to be. It's going to basically have the same sort of format image, some words or whatever, and then a subscribe button. And when you hit subscribe, that's when you subscribe to the channel. That's when you'll get into the channel and you'll actually see the different videos and all that kind of thing. I don't know how they're going to have them sectioned in there or anything like that just yet, but I just wanted to show you that their channel is going to look basically identical to their website. So it's just carrying over their same branding. So what I'm going to do before I go on, before I go on to the thank you page, I'm going to share my screen. Dr. Alex, I know you're probably on mute, but for this, if you could get off of mute and tell me when you see my screen, I am going to walk through this screen share with them, and I want to make sure everybody sees my screen first.
Absolutely.
So I just shared it.
Yep, your screen is showing.
Okay, great. So this is their website, okay? And so the website is basically just like the picture you looked at, except for it goes on, and there's where it switches to men seeking women. I'll show you that in a minute. It tells you about it, and it says, hey, this is the steps that people are going to take to post their videos, right? And a little bit about information about them. If I was to go up here and hit men seeking women, right? So what's going to happen there is it's going to come to this, and it's going to tell the men, if you're looking to watch these profiles, you need to get Roku, and then this, which isn't clicked, is going to link to the channel store so people can see the channel at the channel store. And then it tells the guys a little bit about the steps they have to go through to watch it, which is 4 steps, not 3. And that's kind of the way their site's laid out. It's laid out all in one page. They wanted to keep it clean. They wanted to keep it simple. Join now, this is where people would join. But for us, they were kind enough to give me a username and password that I'm going to log in with. And so here it is, right? And so there's a fake profile, obviously, but I'm logged in as me, as you see. So it would actually have whatever the person's name is. It would have their profile pic. They just upload something there. And then in here, you could say, okay, you selected gender. I guess there's a couple types you can choose. You put in your name, where you're located, your email address. You want to put in your Skype ID or your Facebook ID or WhatsApp or Viber. I don't even know what that is, quite honestly. But if you have one, you put it in there. Description you put there, and then, of course, upload video. You would basically just upload a video. Now, if you don't know the video, I'm going to turn this up a little bit because I do have an example. So they have an example, like if you don't know what to upload, they have this example video that they put in, and it goes like this. So that's their example that they would actually use for the site for people that want to know what to say in their profile. So what's cool about this is once this is uploaded, right? So what they're using it for, it's whatever. But once it's uploaded inside the dashboard, so you guys every day, let's say this was your website, you really would never need to go to this website because basically everything that happens in this website is really tied back to your admin account. So if you log in as admin and go to uploads videos, it would actually be in the videos area. Hold on. I go to sorry, that's going to not load. Give me 1 second. Okay, that's nice. Give me 1 second, guys. I constantly make typos. If you go to uploads and go to videos, anything will be in there that you need to approve. And so once you approve it, then it would make it onto your station. So I guess the point is that when you have, like if you sell a customer has their own, whether it's real estate or whether it's, anything, insurance, an attorney, you can actually, if if you sell an attorney, let's go with that. Let's say you sell an attorney and they say, yeah, we definitely want our web portal. We want 5 or 6 or 10 pages, whatever it is. I mean, you can just add the button. It's really simple to do. But we want to be able to upload our own videos. So that's what's great, because you wouldn't necessarily have a join now available, but you would give them a login, and then they could log in from their own website and upload their own videos. And in that case, since they're the only ones uploading it, in the back, under the channel manager, you would just mark that particular channel as no need to be verified or approved. Just send it through. So then they never come to Livecast. They don't know anything about Livecast. All they know is they have a website, they can put videos on it, and it's actually going straight to the various TV and platforms that they want or they need. You can also sell other customers that can have their own Livecast login, but it wouldn't be for Livecast because you would have the white labeled SaaS version, so it'd be under your own name. So they could log in back there, and then they could sell things and all sorts of other stuff going on. But really, and I'm going to go back here, I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to turn off screen sharing. I'm going to go back to the presentation. And really, I'll go all the way to the end. Here we go. That's all there is to it. So honestly, I was able to get through the whole thing in basically 15, 20 minutes. Because the point here is, I'll leave time open for questions, but the point is that these are isolated web portals that are also controlling not just Roku, but if they have Fire or Apple or whatever other channels, Facebook, whatever it is, they can upload here, and it would automatically upload their update their Facebook as well if in the back of the channel they had their Facebook credentials in there, or Android or Chromecast or whatever they're trying to do. So with that, I know Dr. Alex added this spot, which is basically, and I really don't know where we're at in the first 1,000 people. I haven't checked in a while, so I don't know how many people have done their setup fee and who hasn't. So I don't really have time to check that. We're so busy coding. But it's just that simple. White labeled. Nobody knows it has anything to do with Livecast, but it has all the features of Livecast in a web portal for you guys to, resell to people that you're selling channels to. So whether it's a church or it's an attorney, you can sell them. You don't have to sell them a web portal. They can log into your branded SaaS, but if they get a web portal, well, then you can move the functionality of them uploading their videos to their own web portal, which is really cool if you sell a company or an organization like a church or something. So, Dr. Alex, I don't know if you want to talk about anything in summary, or you can ask questions, or we can talk about that. But really, this is just a quick show you what the white label's about, not trying to keep you here all night. And so, Dr. Alex, you want to come back on, and if they have questions, anybody has questions, just shoot them.
Thank you, Brill. While you were talking, I was collecting the questions, and let's just go through them. The first one, and by the way, guys, if you have any other questions, well, just type them into the chat box, and while Brill is answering, I'm just going to collect them, and we'll make sure that to answer all of the questions as part of this presentation. So here we go. Does any YouTube videos get ripped off the site and uploaded to our storage account? I think that I can answer that one while Brill has a little bit of a break. So we already covered that one. So it is possible to, of course, automatically upload the videos from YouTube or the videos from Vimeo. Now, if you're uploading videos from Vimeo, you can go for the Creative Commons license, which allows you to use the videos commercially. But for YouTube, you actually need the permission of the channel owner. Otherwise, it is against YouTube terms of service to just upload the videos as you please. Now, it is possible to do it. So if your business model is to strike a deal with the owner of a YouTube channel that is very popular, and either build a channel for them or go for some kind of revenue sharing, you can of course do that very easily. And rather than going for the individual videos, it is also possible to specify the RSS feed to the YouTube channel, and everything will be transferred over. So it is actually an incredibly fast way to have your videos not just on YouTube, but to utilize all the TV channels as well. The second question, if it were just a link to YouTube, would the ads show up on Roku? You can't have just a link to YouTube when you're creating your TV channels that are working on Apple TV, on Amazon Fire TV, on Roku. It has to be the URL to the streaming video itself, not to the page with the video. And so it cannot be just a link to your YouTube account, to your YouTube video, that is. The next one, so just to confirm, it is possible to host a website either on Livecast365 or elsewhere. Brill, could you fill us in on that one?
Yes, you could definitely just post one up on our hosting. Obviously, we have a hosting back end. So yeah, you can definitely put up there and then forward your name to that, or you can have your own hosting account. It's really up to you.
All right. And if you're hosting on Livecast365, do you have cPanel and FTP access?
FTP access, yes. cPanel, no, but WordPress admin, yes.
WordPress admin. All right. Livecast365 is building a WordPress site for you, but what happens if the site is already there?
So, well, exactly what I said before, they don't have to do it through their web portal. That customer can actually go to your white labeled SaaS, log in with their username and password that you gave them, and then they can admin the channel for their TV shows right in the Livecast portal. So it doesn't have to be integrated for the TV to actually work. They can also, though, use the stuff that they're uploading in Livecast. They can actually take those MP4s or whatever and embed them into their own website. So because everybody has a different scenario, right? Some people want their websites to have the videos on it, some don't. So they can put the videos that they upload. The only difference is, in that scenario, they'll be managing their videos, TV channels, and even videos that they may have on their website. They'll be managing them on the Livecast or your SaaS portal that's white labeled.
Thank you. Now, is it possible to put the site on a subdomain, or does it have to be a domain name?
You can put it on a subdomain. You could be, but just make whatever CNAME or whatever you want, subdomain. It doesn't matter. You can use a cat name, it works just like any other URL. So you could it could be your, intranet dot whatever you want to call it .com, as long as you own the whatever it is name.com, obviously.
Will there be a monthly fee for the apps, or will it be a one-time cost?
Fee for that. So the founders, everybody that had Nano Express or commercial, or their founders, they get apps for free. If you're a retail customer and you're not one of the founders, there is cost for the different apps and things. But people that already spent money with Nano, that gets moved right into Livecast. So it depends on the status of your membership.
Do you have, or do you plan to have, a DRM?
We don't have one. We haven't been asked that before, but we don't, digital rights, that's a whole nother thing to consider. But we would consider it if there was enough demand for it, because that's a huge undertaking, quite honestly. And if, there's one customer that wants it versus 1,000 that want it. I mean, we really have to figure out a way to have or sustain a user group large enough where we can actually see what the population wants so that we can make investments in that area. But there will not be a DRM launching in December, if that's the question.
Can we broadcast to a channel from Facebook Live?
What is from Facebook Live?
Yes. Well,
if you're on,
sort of because the idea is to broadcast to Facebook Live and to other
right.
places.
See, I don't think Facebook has connections to other things. So if you're broadcasting specifically to Facebook and trying to get Facebook to relay it to a lot of other platforms, that is not possible. But if you're using like a Livecast and you're broadcasting to a lot of places, including Facebook, that is possible.
Okay, the next question. On your subscription portal website, can you list that your channel is available on Roku Fire TV, Android TV, Apple TV, Chromecast, LG, Samsung, Xbox, and PlayStation?
Anywhere you have it available, you'll be able to put that. If you're asking if you're going to be able to list that on your web portal, well, if you have a web portal through us, it's manageable and you can put any text on it you want. If you have your own web portal, obviously you can put any text you want on that as well. So yeah, I mean, updating text and what you put on there is completely up to you.
Right. Now, are all of those platforms going to be supported initially? Well, Roku definitely is, Fire TV definitely is, Android TV is, Apple TV is, Chromecast is. Now, how about LG, Samsung, Xbox, and PlayStation?
So we're working on, the ones you mentioned before, we've already got, and we're working on LG and Samsung. They're handled differently because they're not really stations per se. They're apps that go on televisions. So that's a different thing. But we are looking into that. We're going through those requirements right now. So I don't see why they wouldn't launch, but right now they're not done. But they are in planning to be launched then.
Right.
So we'll see. Depends on what other stuff that we launch simultaneously. Like I said, we're just coding nonstop. But everything that doesn't happen December 2nd, I mean, coding never stops on the platform. So there's always going to be stuff coming along, probably, especially during December, January, and February. There'll probably be updates every other week, just with loads of stuff.
My question isn't about white label, but about the ad system, the advertising system. Can we see an example of that?
See an example. You could go on Roku on one of the channels that already exist. We have, I think, 30 or 40 channels in beta, and you could go watch one of those channels and watch the ads play if that's what you're looking for. If you're looking for how it works in the back end, we can definitely on the next webinar go through something like that. But basically, you go into your channel manager and say, I want ads from this company or that company. And then what happens is the company that you select gets notified. That company puts together a VAST tag for you, sends you the VAST tag, and you put it in your Roku or your platform. So we try not to get in the middle of all that, but that's the way it's going to be automated in the back end through Livecast, because we've negotiated with ad company that will take every single channel. I think if you guys have been around long enough, the ones that have been around long enough realize that in Barron's and places like that, they're like, well, we want you to have these qualifications to actually get ads. In our platform, that doesn't happen. We negotiate that they got to take all of us or none of us. So every single one of the channels, even if it's a brand new channel, can have ads on it. So I don't know what you want demoed, if you want to see an ad play or if you want to see, and you can go do that now just by going to look at one of the test stations, and I can, you can email me. I can give you a list of people that are testing it. You can go check out their stations and see whatever ads playing. But if you want to see how you just request it in the back of our system, we can demo that next webinar.
Right. Yes, for those who missed the previous webinar, I just wanted to add that when it comes to the advertising, you have lots of choices over there. You can go with native Rockweds. You can also go with companies like Barron's Media or StreamKey. But among other things, you now have the access to the self-managed ad server, which means that you can create the deals yourself, or you can use the company that just made a deal so that they're included in the Livecast 365, which right now to me seems as the best available option. Many others would not take the new channels on board. They would want to see a number of reviews first, or the number of signups first, and would have very strict requirements there. But with Livecast, you can actually start making money with the TV advertising immediately. Okay, well, moving on to the next question, and it is about, okay, so Václav, who purchased Nano Express, wants to know, so now I'm hearing there is a third option. Does it mean my money for Nano Express commercial license and monthly server subscription has been for nothing?
No. In this case, Simon would be considered a founder, and Simon would roll right in. And actually, the only thing that would happen to Simon in this case, depending on what subscription level you're on, you're going to get a 20% discount inside now. So let's say you're paying $50 a month. You're a founder, so you'll get yours 20% cheaper. So when you move into Livecast, you actually, instead of paying 50, you'll pay 40. So I'm not really sure. I'm reading it right now. Monthly server space for $50, still trying to get set up. Well, it's getting set up. It's just a quick email to Woody. I mean, we can get the server set up very quickly. Now I'm hearing there's a third option. I don't know what third option you heard, but it's the same hosting that's running the back end of 365. So it's the same hosting that you would already be paying for. Third option, new products, and I guess more money. That's a guess, but it's not accurate. So there are new products. And like I said, founders, people that have already paid in and joined, they actually get several of the apps, all of them, like the website, the e-commerce, that they get a whole group of them for free. So there's not more money, so that's not true. And there are new products, there are money, more money, not. Hosting, you'll actually get it cheaper. So has my monthly server subscription been for nothing? No, I don't think so. I mean, if you're not using it for whatever reason currently, I mean, you should definitely get with us and Woody and get that thing working. We have tons of people on it, so I don't know why yours isn't working. But I would say the vast majority, 99.9% of our customers have it, and they're working just fine. So
to clarify that one just a little bit more, Livecast 365 is the upgrade for Nano.
And they still
support Nano. It uses the very same backend when it comes to the video hosting. So you're not really losing anything. You're upgrading to a system that gives you a lot more at the cheaper price.
Yeah, no additional price cheaper. But here's the thing too. So if you have it, I don't know again which version. If you have the suite or you have it that is white labeled, that's still being supported and still being ran. So if you have companies, like for example, we have a company, the Columbus Zoo, that we sold to, and the Columbus Zoo doesn't want to log into SaaS and have all their stuff on a SaaS. They want it the controller internal to their network. So they actually have the Nano controller in their network. So some customers are selling to bigger clients like that have entire networks and firewalls and things, and they want control inside the building. So you still have access to that, even though there won't be an additional cost for that when you move over into the Livecast 365, because we're maintaining it anyway, because we realize there's some corporate clients that don't necessarily want to put their stuff out on a SaaS for whatever reason. So you still have it, and it's still updated. But we try to put 99.9% of our business on the SaaS because it has a lot more features and it's a lot more robust. And that's just the nature of it, because it's so deeply connected, because it's always connected to the internet, versus on the desktop when sometimes, behind firewalls they have different ports and services closed. Like you may be able to get out port 80, but you may not be able to get out of 81,342. RTMP may not work behind somebody's firewall, and then they have to punch a hole in the firewall. There's a whole bunch of technical concerns there. But I just want everybody to know, it's not like, it launches and Nano commercial or Nano Express price ceases to work. Actually, you could still use it with your same username and password. You're connecting to the same infrastructure, so you can manage your whole platform with the Nano Express or with the SaaS.
If you already have a website, can you clarify my options?
Yes. So again, your options, if you already have a website, and this is really hard to clarify because it depends on what type of website you have, and depends on what language it's written in, and depends on who has written it. So you can, with our system, it's a CDN like any other. You can bring in, just like on any website, you can bring in a YouTube video, you could bring in a Vimeo video, you could bring in videos from our platform as well, our CDN. So the thing about it is, you would be managing it you would log in to the back end of Livecast and manage your videos. But that doesn't mean that you can't stream your videos to your own website in addition to all the other platforms. So the difference is, to be very clear, if you have your own website, depending on what your website is, some people, have pretty old websites, and some people have pretty new websites. Some people have WordPress, some people have BigCommerce, some people have Joomla, Drupal. There's a million different options. So we can't code for the millions of different options out there. So you'll do all the controlling of your videos inside Livecast SaaS, and then you can connect that to your current website, depending on what kind of website you have and what kind of technology it's running, to put the videos inside there. So when you update them inside Livecast, they'll update it on your website as well. But that really depends on your website, because obviously we have no way of knowing if it's Java, Perl, if it's a CMS, we would have no idea what you're running. So it really depends. But you still get the same clarity. You still get the same clarity of putting in the videos on the back of Livecast. It's just a matter of if you can share them out to your website, which 90% of the time you can.
If I want to create a station that broadcasts multiple church services, would I create one station and sell spots for churches to upload their videos from the various churches, or is there a better way? Well, to answer that question, I will just have a first go at it. Well, there are a number of people who are offering church services, and usually there is one TV channel per one church. It is, however, very much possible to have one really big channel and then to allow different churches to upload their videos. Now, Brill, would you like to add anything to it?
Well, give me that again. It cut out for me. I don't know if it cut out for anybody else.
Right. So the question is, for a person who wants to broadcast multiple church services, and the question is, would I create one station and sell spots for churches to upload their videos from the various churches, or is there a better way?
I mean, that really comes down to a business plan, right? So the thing about it is, you could have one site. Maybe it's called. I mean, it'd be hard to just. I mean, maybe you call it what, religion, and then in there you could say like, these are Christians, these are Catholics, or whatever. I don't know how churches feel about that, being mixed together like that, or maybe you have a Christian channel and then you just put a bunch of Christian churches in there. I don't know what the value for the church would be. I mean, technically, you can do that with our platform, no problem. You can also, though, go to an individual church and say, hey, you can have your individual channel. So which one would sell better? I really wouldn't know. I think personally, and I've done no demographics or any research on this, I would think that churches are like other businesses and they're probably competing against each other for donations, meaning people in the seats. They probably don't look at it that way. Maybe they do, maybe they don't, but I don't know. So me personally, I think I would go with, we can build your channel for you versus I'm going to put you on a platform with a whole bunch of other churches in the area. I don't know.
Yes, well, you're probably going to do better by having one channel per church rather than trying to mix them together. It certainly makes things a lot simpler, both for you and for the church. The next one is okay. I see that we have few questions that are by people who haven't been to the previous webinars. And today we are just presenting new information, but I'll just quickly answer this one. Do we get to embed or iframe the videos in our storage so we may syndicate them from everywhere? Well, we covered this one in quite a detail before. You can't really iframe videos because that's not the way you can broadcast to Roku and to Apple TV and to other TV platforms. It's just impossible. What you can do, however, is you can download the videos automatically from platforms like YouTube, from platforms like Vimeo, and then upload them again automatically with a number of other options. So you can automatically add the intro, you can automatically add the outro to the video, you can turn it to 720p to save on bandwidth and on the amount of storage needed. If you want to, you can do lots of other things, automatically pull the name of the video, the description of the video. The system automatically creates the thumbnail for the video. So all of that is automated. But let me repeat, you can't just simply take the video. If you're taking the video from Vimeo, it has to be Creative Commons video, CC BY license that allows you to use the video for commercial purposes, and you still have to acknowledge the original owner of the video. And secondly, if you're getting a video from YouTube, you most definitely do need the permission of the owner of the video. You can't just embed it and use it. You need the permission from the author of the video to include the video in your channel. Or alternatively, you can make a deal with the owner of a popular channel and just use the RSS feed. Everything will be transferred automatically so that TV channels off of that YouTube channel can be created very, very quickly. In that case, you would either charge a fee for making that happen, or you would strike some kind of revenue sharing agreement. Also, the answer for people who missed the beginning of the webinar: will there be a recording? Yes, the webinar is being recorded, and within 24 hours, the full replay will be available. So moving on.
Hey, I want to say one thing, Dr. Alex. So
yes,
about this video and grabbing them from YouTube and whatnot. You guys have really got to be careful about that, we have clients that contact us and they'll say, well, you put us on Apple. We've been on Apple. We're on Apple for a month, and they took down our station, and they want us to figure out why. Well, it turns out that they're like, you know, they're a lot more stringent than the Roku is about Creative Commons licensing and taking content. So these stations do get closed down, especially in Apple, especially in Fire. It's very hard to get to maintain those stations if that is a strategy somebody's using. Matter of fact, you guys have probably come across this. It happens with Apple. It certainly happens with Fire. Is that even if it's your own stuff and you submit it, they'll come back and say, can't do it. That's copyright stuff. And you're like, yeah, it's mine though. And then you have to prove that it's yours. That has nothing to do with any platform you use, ours or anybody else's. These are rules of the OTT providers, and there's nothing we can do about it to resolve that for people. So really, I get we've had people frustrated because they've had us put their Apple together and it's gotten shut down. But the reason it got shut down is because of the content that they were using. And they just acted as if they didn't understand because it's obvious all right because it's still on Roku. Well, that doesn't mean it's obviously all right in Apple's eyes. Each one of these platforms has different rules, but even when they share the same rules, they have different methodologies of going through and making sure that these rules are adhered to. And some are more stringent than the other. So you have to be very careful with that. It's not something we can really help you with once an OTT says you have questionable content. So I just want to get that out there because we've experienced that a few times.
Yes. Okay, now how do we get channels to Chromecast, Apple TV, and others?
So in the back, there's just got to be basically check boxes. You just have to say, I want it in this, I want it in this. And then some of them have API credentials that you need, like Facebook. It'll say, okay, put in your Facebook username and password. It's an API. And then when you have a video, you have to say, I want this video to go to these sources. Or you can say, every time I put something on this channel, take it to these sources. So it really depends on how you want to do it. You can micromanage it via video, or you could just set a whole station up and say, this entire network, whatever I upload to it or run from it, or even if I'm live streaming, it can go to all these channels. So basically, they're just check boxes. You just have to set up the connections that you want on a per channel or a per video level.
Okay. They're open source DRMs. If you use videos with pop music backgrounds, will we not be infringing on the copyright?
Depends on who you're talking about. I mean, if you're running it on your own website, I'm sure no matter what, you probably are. It's just a matter of where you get away with it and where you get in trouble with it, right? I mean, if you're using somebody else's licensed music and you're not paying the licensing fee, you got to pay the licensing fee.
Yes.
Now, if you're doing it on your website, you'll probably get away with it a lot longer than if you try to do it on Apple. If you're doing it on Roku, you'll probably get away with it a lot longer on Roku than you would on Apple or Fire. But yeah, I mean, if you're going to use anybody's copyright materials, you got to pay for it. I mean, that's just something you got to do.
Okay. Now the next question is PLR video working with Roku? Well, and I'll answer that one. Don't even consider using PLR videos with any of the TV channels. For the TV channel, Roku or pretty much any other TV channel, you need the original content. PLR videos are not allowed anyway. Okay, now the next one is regarding the promotional materials. We would like to be able to market the pre-launch of our services. Will there be any promotional material that we will have access to prior to the December 2 launch?
Well, that's just, I mean, we may have some generic stuff. Like you may be able to take some of the PowerPoints that we have, rework them with your logo. I mean, we usually post those up. And then you can put your own back and logo and stuff on it, but there won't be specific targeted stuff like, oh, here's marketing material for churches, here's marketing materials for attorneys, here's marketing materials, that won't be ready before December 2nd at all. But there's some generic stuff that's just kind of can be taken out of our PowerPoints, but that's the best we can do.
Okay, there was a question on the previous webinars. Where is it that people can watch it? And to help you out, I just posted the YouTube channel address in the chat box. So that's where you can see the previous webinars. Or if you go to YouTube and just search for Dr. Alex TV channel, so Dr. Alex TV channel, you will be able to find it. And I'm putting all of the webinars in there. Also, if you go to dralex.tv, you can subscribe for the newsletter over there. And after every single webinar, there is a replay. And I always make sure to send the URL to the replay in the very next message after the video. Also, I would suggest that if you join the Dr. Alex TV private group on Facebook, you get to discuss all the aspects of creating videos. And if you join the Livecast365 private group on Facebook, you will it's really 100% devoted to Livecast 365 and everything that is associated with the platform. So you have more than one way, therefore, of watching all of the previous webinars. And if you have any questions, you can always ask either me or Brill. We will be more than happy to answer them. The next question, can you explain how we can e-commerce on Livecast 365?
Okay, so I can explain this in a couple ways. I'm going to go back to screen sharing. Okay, let's see about this. Hold on. Tell me when you can see my screen.
Yes, it's showing.
Okay, so there's a couple different things. So when you talk about e-commerce, we're talking about e-commerce. So what will happen is our website will also, you can have a website, but you can also have the e-commerce store. So inside the e-commerce store is where you can put products. Now, the thing about it is those products are specifically being sold on the e-commerce stores online. Now, if you want to sell that product through one of our SDKs in an in-app purchase, what you have to do, and I don't know how many people are familiar with this, if you go to manage my channels and you go manage in-channel products and you go there and you make a product, so you add a product, right? And so when the product launches, you have to pick which station of yours you want the product on. You could put it on multiple, whatever you want to do. We're not making one, so I'm deleting as we're going. You need a product name, okay? And this is the key right here. You see this thing called an identifier? This thing is what's needed for the SDK. So what happens is, if you add a product in your shopping cart, your SKU should be this identifier. Because what happens is, this identifier is tied to what you set this up at. Let's say it's a monthly subscription. So you have an identifier, you call it my site A, monthly subscription, B, or whatever. Let's make it easier. One-time purchase. Let's say it's a shirt. So let's say it's a Bob Marley shirt. So then your identifier could be like B Marley, XL or SM or whatever, because you cannot have identical identifiers inside of Roku, right? So you make an identifier. You say for this identifier, whatever it is, it's a one-time purchase, right? And, you could say, it's requires additional purchases. You can, do all this. Cleared for sale, yes. Pick a price tier, right? So I'm going to pick price tier number one. So if I was to save this and hit create, the SDK in the back that you select, it's going to say if you want to sell a product on the TV, it's going to ask you for this identifier that you created here. Oh, sorry, here. And then it's going to pull it from your e-commerce site and then also show that product on television so that people can use the remote and then buy it. But they can still buy it off your website too. So if the question is about e-commerce on your website, it works just like any e-commerce site does. You put in your product, you put in your price, you put in your own like Stripe or PayPal or whatever you're using to collect your money. And then you make sales, and of course you deliver it. And the back end would be WooCommerce, so it's very well documented. It's been around for years. It's one of the top carts. It's just modified. So you'll be able to have all the information you need about that from many different places, right? And if you're talking about selling the same product on TV, you just have to make sure you call this identifier. And it's going to be very clear. It's going to say pick, if you have SDK, it's going to say pick your template. And it's going to say, do you want to sell a product? You're going to say yes. And you're going to say, okay, add product. When you add product, it's going to ask you for your product identifier. Okay. And if you paste in this product identifier in the livecast on whatever channel you set this up on, it's going to, you can put it, it's going to say, put this in that video. There's a whole bunch of selections you can make. But the way it works really is through setting up your products through Roku, if we're talking about e-commerce on Roku. If you're talking about just on the shopping cart, very simple, works like any other shopping cart on the market. So I'm going to stop sharing. I just wanted to show people that.
Okay. Here is the next question. Is there a minimum length for the content? Now, when it comes to the length of the content, there is no minimum. But if you want to make the money from TV advertising, there are a few things that you should be aware of. If you're going with Roku, they will not put any ads if your content is less than 7 minutes long. So the sweet spot there would be 8-minute content or 15-minute content. You have a pre-roll ad, and let's say you have a 15-minute video. You will be able to have a pre-roll and a mid-roll at 7 minutes, and then another mid-roll at 14 minutes, and that is 3 ads. However, if you use the self-managed TV server, self-managed ad server, then you are completely bypassing the Roku mechanism of adding ads, which is done through the vast tags. And instead, you can decide to show the ads more often. However, I think there is a pretty good reason Roku is not showing the ads more often than every 7 minutes. If you do it, if you have ads that are very, very frequent, you're likely to lose your audience very quickly. Moving on to the next question. Can you give an approximate estimate of how much storage is needed for 100 hours of video at 720p, 1000 kbps? Just some rule of thumb.
There's actually an equation out there. Whoever said that, if they email me, I'll send them sort of like a little calculator where they can just press in. There's some variables you have to know about the videos. You can just press it in there and hit go, and it'll tell you approximately how much space you need. So send me an email. I can get that over to you so you can approximate it.
This question is related to the one that we just answered. So let's go through that one. Can you combine self-managed and ad platforms? Well, yes, but not in one single channel. So for one channel, you can decide to go with one ad platform. For another channel, you can go with another ad platform. For the third channel, you can go with a self-managed. You can't have more ad platforms within a single channel. What you should also keep in mind is that Roku, for Roku channels in particular, they reserve the right to use up to 30% of your inventory to serve their own ads, even if you have, a deal with another ad serving company. Those, if they decide to go down that path and they claim the 30% that they're entitled to, you will get paid for that. So in that particular case, there will be more than one company serving the ads. One of them would be the Roku, and the other one will be the company that you originally go with. Moving on to the next question. Can I set up a $0 one-time purchase, as for example, an ebook, and capture the lead info?
Okay, well, you don't need to do that with one of the SDKs that we're putting up. Basically, they'll go to the channel, it'll go to your splash screen, and it'll say, it's not a subscription, but in order to get in, you've got to give us your email address. And then they type in their email address, they hit submit, and then you get the email address of the person, and then they can get in to see whatever content you have back there. So you don't have to do that. There's other ways. There's other ways they can subscribe. Because these are internet connected, right? So the thing is, you're talking about just, basically what you're talking about is just manipulating the manifest to actually grab different form fields and then email them off, which these applications are capable of doing. So you'll be able to do lead gathering, lead management without having to do that, because you don't get a lot of information from the purchase. Honestly, you'll get a lot more if they type in their email address. We can even make them create a username and password to log in, the whole 9 yards.
I have a record label prospect who want to sell MP3s, MP4s, records from Roku and Apple TV. Well, you would have more than one option there. You can go for the channel subscription, whereby people are paying to subscribe to your channel. This is now very much possible. Previously, it wasn't, but now it is. And another option would be to go with in-app purchases that allow people to purchase individual items.
And the only thing I would say about that
Yep.
is, like, you could have a band and they could have a music video up there and that song's playing, and you could say, hey, to buy this song, 99 cents or whatever, you could do that. I would just sway them away from, trying to sell entire albums and everything on these systems, because these people want to keep, 20, 30% of the sale, which is very expensive. So I think it's great to sell a song, but when they sell a song, then they can market the whole album to the person off a personal e-commerce site, because it won't cost you that much. That just is a lot to lose if that's going to be your primary sales methodology. It's very expensive. So I would in-app purchase maybe 99-cent single songs from videos of that song. But I would try to steer, I try to steer away from that being my main source of selling revenue, because it's going to get expensive.
The next one is on subscribers. So every channel subscriber is viewing a unique video stream, unlike normal cable or TV, whereby we watch the same content on a set broadcast schedule. Well, here again, with this platform, you have a choice. You can run it as if you were a TV station and have a broadcast schedule. That's what True TV option is for. Or you can have on demand, which allows people to watch the video whenever they want. And in that particular case, yes, every channel subscriber is viewing a unique video stream. And there is the third option as well, and that is to freely combine within your channel the live streams and the on-demand videos. So some of them can be on demand and the others can be live stream. Brill, anything to add?
Yeah, I would say probably a better way to say that would probably be like, people on your station can watch the same or dissimilar content simultaneously, because even if they're on demand videos, theoretically you could have everybody on your station watching the same video at the same time. It's not like one video can only have one person watching at once, but it doesn't mean that there's not going to be multiple people watching multiple different things or watching the same stuff. So it could be that they're watching the same stuff, or they could be watching different stuff, unlike traditional TV where you have to be watching the same program because that's the only thing available.
If I upgrade to Livecast 365, do I still need my subscriptions to Roku, Apple, Amazon, etc.?
What we say, so I don't like your subscription to like Roku. Like if you're talking about your developer's account, it doesn't cost any money. I would keep that because it's better that you keep your channels in your own Roku developer account, because then if you ever want to switch services for any reason, they're your channels in your account. So although you wouldn't necessarily have to, I mean, it doesn't cost you anything. I would, because it's safer for you.
It also makes things simpler because even though Roku allows you to transfer the channel to another person or another
Yeah,
method,
that's a pain in the butt. That's really a pain.
there is a procedure associated with that, and it's time
Yeah,
consuming.
it's a pain. It's not worth it.
That's right. So it's much easier just to do it as part of your own account from the word go. Moving on to the next one. I want to use QR codes in my video content to promote mobile offers. Is that allowed?
Yes.
So simple answer, yes, it is.
There's people. There's people in there. But you ever know that it's SMS? Like text this number to that number. There's big channels that are 100% compliance and very big that have those in the lower third constantly. Like something comes up, like maybe a house comes up, and it's like, yeah, if you're interested in this house, text this number to that number. There's a lot of that going on. People are grabbing emails, they're grabbing leads. There's people that have phone numbers in their headers. There's people that in their footers they have actionable SMS stuff, codes. So all that stuff's available. It's just a matter of how you do it. It's not. There's some things you're not allowed to do, some things you are allowed to do, but you can definitely put QR codes. But if the QR code is over X amount big and taking up so much of the screen, they're going to have problems with that, right? So I mean. But within reason, those things are fine. I can show you a lot of channels to do just that.
We are coming to the end of the webinar. There is just one more question. Can you add your own commercials in your videos on Roku?
Yes.
Yes, we covered that one. Yes, you can. And in fact, if you're using the self-managed ad server, you can not only add your own commercials, but you can also use that to brand your channel, because you can elect to automatically serve a intro video before the main video plays. But yes, you can definitely add your own commercials in your videos. Yeah. Okay, well, that's all the questions that I have here. You can always contact either Brill or me. And just a reminder, if you go to dralex.tv/register, it reserves your spot for the 2nd of December launch, because it is now quite clear that not everyone will be able to be part of that first group, because there is way more interest than there are spots. There are exactly 1,000 spots. Yes, Brill just typed his email in the chat box. So his email is brill@iranklocally.com. And my email is alex@dralex.tv. So you can always contact us with more questions. Guys, thank you very much for coming. Thank you for attending the webinar. I hope that the information that we presented was useful today. Thank you, Brill. Anything to add before we?
No. I just A lot of it, just so you know, a lot of people, when they say like upgrade, they're upgrading to Livecast 365. If you're already a Nano Express customer, you're not really upgrading because it's yours already. So it is an upgrade from the platform, but you're not technically upgrading because there's no additional cost or anything for you guys to get in. Honestly, the founders are going to end up saving money and having more services. So it's kind of just it's not really I mean it's it's a lot more services, but for you guys that started with us, it's not a lot more cost. It's just a lot more services. So there's a difference between how you guys are handled versus the retail people. So um, yeah, so it's not like you're really upgrading. You're kind of just getting ported over to some more advanced features.
Right. Well, that's all we had for today. Again, thank you very much for coming. Thank you for attending our webinars. And I think that we are planning to have one or two before the 2nd of December launch. As more features become available, we will let you know through the emails and through our Facebook groups, as well as through the webinars. So thank you and see you on the inside. Bye-bye.